Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Melissa's Table Talk. And today we have Anna with us, and she is the founder of SoulFit Studios as well as Coaching Go Where. So Anna, tell us a little bit more about SoulFit Studios.
SoulFit Studios is a new concept in Singapore where we're focused on helping individuals reach and go beyond their potential. And the way that we do this is to incorporate a lot of the new learning in terms of how do we shift behaviors, how do we shift our thinking and make it last beyond the 1, 2 or 3 day training course, how do we actually make a change in our lives, in our thinking, in our behaviors, and ultimately to create the life we really truly want.
So you would describe yourself as a life coach in that sense, right?
I would describe myself as a life transformation coach.
Okay, the word transformation.
Transformation is important.
Which is why today's topic is also very, very important for all our viewers. And we're going to talk about how much happiness do you deserve? Or actually, how much happiness do you think you deserve? So why do you think people, this topic even comes up? Because naturally, I would think that everyone thinks they deserve 100% happiness, that they deserve to be happy all the time.
Do you know what the most interesting thing is? I often ask people this. I often ask people, how much happiness, how happy are you? So if I were to ask you, how happy are you? A typical answer might be
70%.
70%. You're good. A lot of people actually tell me they're around 50-50, the majority of people when I ask them. They'll say, around half the time I'm happy. And then I'll ask them, how much happiness do you deserve? And they'll say, well, maybe a little bit more. Maybe 60, maybe 70%, perhaps.
So they don't think that they deserve 100% happiness?
They don't think they can have 100% happiness. And thus they don't think it's possible, and so they don't deserve it.
Why do you think people think that way? Because, my theory or my hypothesis is that we think that we need a lot more time outside work in order to pursue things that make us happy, our hobbies. But because work takes up such a chunk of our time, that's why we are not happy. That's my hypothesis. And because you have no choice but to work in a 9 to 5, or in Singapore it's more like 9 to 6 or 7
or 8.
And that's why it's impossible to be 100% happy.
So it's all a perception, actually. It's quite interesting. So often the conversation I have with people is, how much happiness do you have? How much do you deserve? And when do you want it?
Yeah.
And so often people are chasing happiness in the future. So the conversation they'll often have is, I'll be happy when I retire. I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happier when I go on holiday. I'll be happier when XXX happens. And so the really interesting thing about happiness is it's a shift in perception of happiness.
I see.
Happiness is actually to be present. You can be happy now.
Okay, repeat that. Happiness is about perception, and we can be happy 100% now.
Yes. And it's about being present now, rather than thinking, I will be happy when X happens. When Y happens, when I have enough money, I'll be happy. When I have a new car, I'll be happy. And so what you're actually doing is you're hooking your happiness to an external factor. And therefore you're relying on something externally to make you happy.
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with, what's the right word? There are some religions that teach this, that you're supposed to be happy with what you have. You're not trying to always pursue the material goods of the world. What's that right word? I think in Mandarin it's called 知足.
Okay.
Yeah. So that really reminds me and resonates with me. I think a lot of people, we are always comparing ourselves to others and what we don't have, and that's why we think that we are not happy. For example, we were talking about this previously about how some people are so conscious about the way that they look that they think that they are happy only if they're a certain size or if they look a certain way.
Yes.
So they are obsessed, completely obsessed with the way they look, and therefore they judge others on the way other people look as well.
The really fascinating thing to observe, so I'm going to, as you're listening to this, ask yourself, where do you get all of these perceptions from? Where do you get all of your beliefs from? Because it's your beliefs that create your sense of reality. It's your beliefs that will give you an emotional response that then gives you your behavior. So let me just give you an example of this.
Yep.
If we can for one moment know that reality in itself is neutral. Reality in itself is neutral. And what I mean by that is everything that happens in the world happens in the world. Whatever happens in your life just happens in your life.
Yep.
But it's the meaning you put onto an event that happens in your life. So I'll give you an example. Perhaps you're on the MRT.
Okay.
It's rush hour, and then someone walks in and they push you.
Yeah.
Now, that event in itself is neither here nor there. You can then decide, actually, this person is really rude.
Yeah.
All right. They looked at you and they decided that you're the easiest person to pick on, and therefore they've got it in for you.
Okay.
And so suddenly you've created a story of an event.
Okay.
And at the point you've created that negative story, you're going to get frustrated or angry or feel negative.
Okay.
What is the flip side of that? What is a different meaning you could give to that story?
Probably you think that that person is rushing, didn't see you, and therefore knocked into you.
Yes, or they're a bit clumsy. They just generally did not see you. Perhaps they've got a balance problem. Okay, or maybe someone else pushed them. It was an accident. And at the point you create a different story to that, suddenly you have a different reaction. So if you take that example and look at how you apply your meaning to what's happening in your life, you will have a different life.
True. I think I got that many years back, where I started to be a little bit more mindful about why I reacted the way I reacted to different things. And yeah, I think a lot of people are not conscious about that. They don't realize that they choose, it is a choice on how they react to things around them. And yeah, as you say, it's a belief system. Because I have encountered someone who thought, or who still thinks, that I'm out to get him, that I'm trying to push him down, that I'm not letting him grow and excel in his work. But the reality was, or is, that I wasn't trying to do all of that. I was more of like a boss and as a mentor. If you've done a mistake, it's my job to actually point it out and make sure that you don't make the same mistake again. And it was his perspective. But another former intern, who I really scolded, said that no, he actually learned a lot from me. Because even when I scolded him, I told him why and the reasons behind it. So it was these two separate individuals who both were under me, my tutelage in that sense, and they had different reactions to when I mentored them, that really made me very conscious that, hey, it's really the individual's choice of how they take the information and react. They can take it positively and learn from it, or they can just think that, oh, the whole world's against them and that they are the best. And I also felt that it has to do with the person's ego and humility, or lack of it, in a sense.
Yeah, I think the very interesting thing to become really quite aware of is we get into patterns of behavior, and certain things will trigger us.
Yep.
And that's fine at the point you realize what it is you're doing and whether or not you are content with what life has given you. What I mean by this is, so a lot of this is understanding neuroscience, understanding psychology, understanding your neural pathways. So this is all NLP stuff, which I've been studying for over 10 years. And at the point you understand why we do what we do, at the point you start to understand yourself as to what are my automatic reactions to things that happen in my life. Now, when it's an automatic reaction, it's called a habit. You can have positive habits, you can have negative habits.
Okay.
And often, in order for you to shift, you need to become conscious of what is it that you're doing and what is the impact of your thinking that gives you that emotional response.
Okay.
And at the point you realize and stop just for a moment and look at your life. Look at your life and assess for yourself, honestly with yourself, am I happy in my life? Am I getting the results I want in my life? And if I'm not, I need to change something.
Yeah.
So it's not going to happen automatically just because you realize that you actually have to make a conscious effort.
And that's the difficult part, right? So how can people, okay, say for example, someone who is watching this, yeah, they feel that, yeah, I'm not currently 100% happy, but I deserve 100% happiness. And when they do their soul searching, they realize that, hey, yes, there is something that is not making them feel fulfilled, but they still can't pinpoint exactly what it is. They just know that they are not happy. They want to make a change, but they do not know how to make a change. So how can these people, what's the best way or best strategy for them to take action in that sense?
Okay. The first action, so at the point you choose to change, your best bet is to look for somebody to either coach or mentor you. If you could have done this on your own, you would have. Okay.
Yeah.
Because for you to change your habit and your thinking of a lifetime, you want to ask somebody or listen to some more human potential learning on how to shift your thinking. And in shifting your thinking, it starts with having insight as to yourself. Why do you do what you do? It starts with, firstly, you realizing that a lot of your internal voices in your head is not you. It's your brain talking to you.
Isn't that still us?
No.
Explain what you mean.
No. You are more than the thinking in your head.
Okay.
You are more than that little voice that tells you you're not good enough.
Okay.
That tells you that people don't like you. That tells you that you're overweight. That tells you that you'll never get that promotion you're looking for. That you'll never find love. It's all that negative voice is your negative voice. But that negative voice is not you, you'd be pleased to know. It's your brain.
Okay.
And the reason why you've got this brain talking to you is often it's picking up stuff that you've heard from everywhere else. From society that have judged you.
Okay.
Often this little voice is an echo of what you've heard in the media, what you've heard from people that you love, from your family, from your community, from your school. And so this little voice is echoing all of this negativity to you.
Okay.
And the good thing is, because it's just your little voice in your brain, you can repattern it. You can neutralize this little voice and make it positive.
So you tell yourself you're great, you are worthy.
Well, it's more than just telling yourself.
Okay.
You actually need to believe it.
Okay, but then I told you this before. I faced the opposite problem, not personally, but I've seen, especially those in the younger generation, that now society has kind of shifted, especially media. They're trying to tell people that, hey, you deserve it, you're worth it. Like, take L'Oreal's advertisement, like, because you're worth it, right? That, don't you think that there is an opposite shift, that the little voice is telling them that they are too good?
I think there's a difference between feeling entitled and there's a difference between having arrogance versus finding your authentic self.
Okay.
And your authentic self is actually when you listen to your heart. And you know when you do things sometimes, your heart is saying X, your heart is telling you X, your brain is telling you Y.
Yeah.
And it's often when your brain is talking to you, it's when it's your ego talking to you. It's not your heart talking to you. We've all been there, let's be honest.
Yes.
We've also been there when we've been mean to other people. And when we're mean to other people, when we judge other people, that's also from the ego. And that's often because we're also in pain ourselves, we're in fear ourselves. And in order to make ourselves feel better, we have to bring somebody down with us, unfortunately.
I see.
At other times, at the point you start to realize that who you are, you're 100% whole and perfect. And often we judge ourselves by so many other people's perception of who we should be.
Why do you think why do you think that we have this perception that is based on other people's beliefs rather than like our own belief of what we are?
We are the product of someone else's belief. So let me just walk you through this.
Okay.
So you're born,
Mm-hmm.
and you have parents, you have a community, you have a family. And from the moment you're born, you are instilled their beliefs. They
True.
teach you. They teach you what is right and what is wrong.
True.
They teach you what is expected of you. So what's expected of you as a woman? What is expected of you as a Singaporean?
Yes.
What is expected of you within your religion?
Yeah.
And so we are growing up with everyone else's expectations. We are expected to be modeled and to be kind of molded into their picture of who we should be. And so we allow that to happen because as a child you don't know any better.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, until we actually become conscious until you become conscious and choose what to believe instead, you are living someone else's belief systems.
And that's where probably all this conflict comes about, right? Because there is one set of belief system that you've been brought up and you are taught to believe in. And then as you said, you grow older, you're a little bit more conscious and you start making conscious decisions, and that's where conflict comes in.
Yes, because it's really, really quite difficult when you've grown up with your expectation as an example. If you grew up thinking that as a woman, I'm supposed to get married, have 2 kids, I'm supposed to clean the house, my hubby goes to work.
You need to learn how to cook.
Yeah, you're supposed to always look nice, be on top form. And even if you work, you're still supposed to look after the kids. You're still supposed to clean. Okay? And so you've bought, and this conditioning, you've had it for a lifetime.
Thank goodness my mom is not like that. Thank you, mommy.
And now it's been automated in you.
Yeah.
Okay? This is an automatic reaction you now have. In order for you to unravel all of that, takes time, takes effort, which is why in SoulFit, all our life transformation programs is over a 12-week period, because it takes 12 weeks to change a lifetime worth of habits and thinking.
Yeah, but even after that, you still have to be very conscious to do it again and again and again until it becomes a full-on, not even a habit, but just
It's
think
part of you,
about it.
yeah. But it does happen. Absolutely. And it's at the point you know that, and it's about neural pathways. You keep doing it until your new behavior, your new positive thinking, your new healthy thinking becomes your permanent state of mind. That you will start to see your life transform.
So we need to start first telling ourselves that we deserve 100% happiness.
No, it's beyond telling. It's believing.
Believing, okay, we believe that we deserve 100% happiness.
And as you believe in it, so I'm going to give you one top tip, and this is an NLP tip.
Okay, we're all ears.
So the thing to do is often, actually your conscious and unconscious mind does not discern what has happened in reality and what you've imagined.
Oh,
okay. Now this is really, really important, so take note. It does not discern whether or not you've imagined it or whether or not it's really happened. It does not discern time. Okay. And as long as your imagination is so powerful and you have the physiology,
okay,
all right, you can feel. So what you want to do is to not only imagine and believe you're happy, you need to feel happy. You need to get into the zone. Close your eyes and bring yourself into a moment and into a state of what 100% happiness looks like, feels like, smells like, and so forth, that you are actually literally radiating. And what you're doing is, at the point you can do that, and you do that several times, you're giving your brain a new reference point.
I see.
That number one, 100% happiness feels like this. It looks like this, it sounds like this, and because you've had it before, you can have it again.
Sounds good.
And you can do this for any emotional state.
So I think one key point that I got away from this is that first of all, we really need to start disassociating happiness with material things or with things that happen in the future. So stop thinking about, oh, if I get that promotion, I'll be happy. If I get more money, I'll be happy. If I manage to go on a worldwide trip, I'll be happy. Right? That's the first most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to help you do that is to do gratitude. So
Yes, that's the word I was looking for, gratitude.
And I do this in the morning when I wake up, and I do this at night when I go to sleep. And what I do is, so it's around intention setting. So I'm going to give you lots of tips in this video. So the tip is self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yes.
Self-fulfilling prophecies. You wake up. When you wake up, if it's raining and you're not feeling great or you're feeling tired, if you wake up and then you think, oh my God, this is going to be one of those really crappy, horrible days, guess what's going to happen?
It will be a crappy, horrible day.
Yep, you're going to create your belief system. So stop doing that. And instead, irrelevant of the weather, irrelevant of your tiredness, irrelevant of what you're doing that day, declare the day you want to have. And I actually say it out loud, today is a beautiful day. Today is a beautiful day. And you look around and you find 3 things to appreciate. At least 3 things to appreciate externally, but also another 3 things for you to be for you to have gratefulness for. So I always say to myself, I am thankful and grateful for having a healthy body. I am thankful and grateful for living in such a wonderful country in Singapore. I am thankful and grateful for the opportunities that life gives to me. And so find 3 things that resonate with you and be thankful and grateful and say it out loud. So there's a difference between just thinking it and saying it, because you're going to trigger different bits of your brain. So I do strongly recommend you actually say it. And then in the evening, declare, today was a wonderful day. All right? Because no matter what happens, it's how you choose to take it that will give you your own emotional response. And by you appreciating, it doesn't mean you've had an easy day. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you didn't have any challenges, because you probably did.
But you can grow from challenges.
Yes.
So that's probably something that you can be grateful for. And I have a friend who's an entrepreneur, and she does this not every day, but she does this every week. So she takes like an hour on Mondays, I think, if not Fridays, I can't really remember. But one day of the week, either the start or the end, and she sits down for a full hour to think what is she grateful for her business.
Yep.
Who has she met for the week? What does she intend to do for the entire week? And what is she grateful for? What were the challenges and how has she grown, and that she's grateful for as well. So she does this every single week, and she was saying that it helps her to keep stock of what she has done for the company, how the company has grown, the direction, and it just makes her feel grateful that she's still alive and the business is still alive. And of course, I think when you are that authentic, it also helps you to set the intention for your whole team. So she said that it has helped her as well, because then she will think, okay, this needs to be focused on and I haven't really been focusing it on, or this member of staff has really done very well for this week, and then she will praise him, and that obviously that will improve his mood, and then everybody is happy for the week. So that was why that word did not come up to me until just now when you mentioned it, but yeah, that really is very important, and I've heard this so many times by so many people, not just by Anna, but my fellow entrepreneurs, even fitness coaches, everyone, religion as well. I think a lot of religions are teaching people to be humble and to be grateful, right?
Yeah. What I always say to people is, we are responsible for our own happiness. So at the point you stop, expecting someone else to make you happy.
Oh yes.
Okay, so I always go on a bit of a conversation around happiness and responsibility for happiness.
Yeah.
And what I mean by this is, at the point you've given away your power, right? So listen to this really quite carefully and maybe rewind it. At the point you give someone your power, that they have the power to make you happy, and therefore they have the power to make you unhappy. How ridiculous is that? How ridiculous. You can make me happy. I'm giving you my power to make me happy. Okay, how ridiculous is it? Because suddenly what you've done is two things which I think is, not very useful for you. Firstly, not only have you given away your power, you've also given someone responsibility where it does not belong. They are not responsible for making you happy. You are responsible for making you happy. You always have a choice, even though you think you don't. So stop here for a minute and just consider, when have you sometimes chosen not to be happy? When have you chosen sometimes to blame someone else for your unhappiness, for your situation, for what is going on in your life? And at the point you take a stop check and decide that actually I can choose happiness, I can make things happen for me.
Yeah.
So as I said, it doesn't make it easier. It doesn't necessarily make it even that simple. But at the point you take back control of your life and choose, then suddenly you'll see the world in a slightly different way.
I think that's very important because when you mention it, I just couldn't help but think of a lot of relationships between my friends, and I'm talking about with their partners. And I see a lot of older couples who divorce late in life because I see that happening, especially when it comes to the women. They focus so much on their husbands that their husbands or their children's happiness become their source of happiness.
Yeah.
And when like the children grow up, they leave the house, they suddenly find themselves like, oh, I now have almost no meaning in life, and it's so difficult for them to find happiness in that sense because they've attached it to
Someone
else.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, this really happens with the whole entire every aspect of your life, because last week we were talking about financial health, and the financial coach Elsa was also saying that a lot of women make the mistakes of just giving everything, the responsibility, to their spouse, which, right, will that really make you happy? No, it actually, as you said, you're giving away your power, and you're giving away your responsibility, and you will be less happy, and I think the other person will be less happy as well. We always think that, oh no, you're being very selfish, you're thinking about our own happiness and thinking about our own responsibilities and our own rights and stuff like that. But when you switch your mind a little bit, by doing so, the other person will be less happy as well, right?
It all depends on their construct, on their own construct of what makes them happy. So for some people, if they like that sense of power,
Power hungry.
or controlling, and so forth. And it gets really quite complex. But to put it in a very simple way, you are responsible, if you choose to have responsibility for your own happiness, and you can choose. And for a lot of people, when I say this to them, they look at me all confused, saying, I can choose happiness. It's like, yeah. And if you could choose it, what would it look like? If you could choose happiness, what would you change in your life?
I'm still getting there. I still do not have a clear photo. I have to admit, I do not have a clear image of what happiness looks like to me.
Okay.
But I do know what unhappiness looks like.
Yeah.
To me, that is very easy for everybody to visualize what is unhappiness. And to me, like, as long as I'm not unhappy, I must be happy.
Is that true?
That's why I say
No,
it's only.
it's not.
That's why I said it's 70%.
You know, for a lot of other people where they're stuck in life, and this is something else I have many conversations with. If you're feeling stuck in life, if you're feeling stuck, you're not feeling fulfilled, one question to ask yourself is, what do you truly want? not what you think you can have. Okay, don't settle. Don't settle for what I think I can have. What's other
World
people
domination.
But seriously,
Okay,
what do you truly in your heart really want?
Okay.
Who is it do you truly want to be in the world, and what is the impact you want to make in the world? And at the point you can ask yourself that, and if you can't ask yourself that, come to my workshop and I'll do a couple of exercises where you can discover your life purpose.
Yeah.
You need to target something, you need to know where to aim, you need to know where to focus. And often people are lost because you don't know what you want.
True.
You don't know what your focus is. So the first step is know what you want, know your focus, you then know your life purpose for now, and you can change it later. So it's not set in stone, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That you have a direction of movement.
That is true. I think in different life stages, your life goals also change.
Yes.
And yeah, that's acceptable. Life is always a journey. It's not about having just one goal post. So yeah, we deserve 100% happiness. Remember that, people. And as Anna has said, if you're feeling a bit lost, she has said a lot of tips. So just rewind if you need to. Take a moment, understand, take stock of where you are in life right now, and yeah, come join us. You will be having a coffee session in March, right? Early March.
So Thursday morning, 2nd of March,
Okay.
10 to 12, and also on Saturday the 4th, 10 to 12. It's only 2 hours. It's a coffee morning. There's a small cover charge for refreshments.
Yeah. So
And at that session, you will discover what is your life purpose so that you can aim, and then we'll have a conversation of how to get it and to start a journey, because at the point you start a journey, it will change your life.
remember, it takes a heck of a long time. You were saying 12 weeks. I read other books
12
that
weeks is
said,
nothing.
yeah, I've read other books that said that no, 12 weeks is too short.
12 weeks
Yeah.
is the beginning.
Yeah, 12 weeks
It's
is
the
the beginning to really fulfill and make it into a habit. I think it's like 100 weeks or something like that. Yeah, so it's really a commitment, but it's your life we're talking about. A lot more people are feeling very unfulfilled right now, so that's what SoulFit Studios and Wellness Insider we're trying to do. We're trying to make you feel more confident about yourself, give you the tips and that are necessary. So do come for Anna's coffee session. Subscribe to Melissa's Tabletop Talk, and yeah, find out more about how you can actually improve yourself. So we hope to see you soon. And yeah, this lovely studio here is SoulFit Studios. That's why we're filming here today. Yeah.
Just one more quick thing just before we go.
Yeah.
So I do believe we all, including you, we all have greatness within us. And there's beauty within us, there's power within us. If only you would take your foot off the brake. You can have the life you really want. And I really truly believe that for you and for everyone that's listening. So do believe in yourself, believe that it's possible, and believe that you have everything you need for that greatness inside you now. All you need to do is you need to just know how to let it out, how to release it, how to nurture that which you have in you now.
Yep.
And you will transform your life.
Yes, we're all about transforming lives here. So thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you for inviting me.
No worries. And yeah, stay tuned next week and you'll see who else I'll be interviewing on the Wellness Insider and Melissa's Tabletop Talk. So see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.